I was interested in Japanese cities from about 25 years ago. I used to work in a busy urban planning office in the city of Melbourne, and a Japanese mayor from Osaka, which is not far from Kobe, came to visit almost every year from the mid-70s onwards. So I wanted to go to Japan and look at urban planning and urban management in that country. I thought it would be very interesting. And in January 1995, I found myself close to Kobe, not living in Kobe, but the adjoining city of Kyoto. And at 5:46 in the morning on January the 17th, the earthquake happened. It took me 2 weeks to get into the city. And at that time, you could only travel by rail to the eastern periphery. And after that, there was a 3-hour walk to downtown. And I wondered how on earth, seeing all the devastation, the impact of the fires and the earthquake, how Japanese local government officials would rebuild the city. And I wanted to know what happened next. And writing the book took 15 years. The disaster at Kobe was a trigger for all kinds of volunteers to come into the city to help with the immediate delivery of food and water and essential supplies. And in the months and years after, to stay with the damaged communities to help them get back on their feet. I had a PhD student look at that in a number of neighborhoods. And community groups who were not there in Kobe before 1995 played a very important role. Japan hasn't had a history of non-profits or non-government organizations. And even 10 or 15 years later after Kobe, their growth is still rather slow compared with the West. But the role of the state is changing, and NGOs are going to play a larger part in Japanese society. The people of Kobe wanted to return to normal. That was their first priority, just to get back to the fire-devastated neighborhoods. But there was no normal after the earthquake. And many people had to resign to living far away from the neighborhoods they felt comfortable in. They had to spend 3 years in temporary accommodation, barracks-type accommodation, in every open space and gymnasium and land refill site in Kobe. And rebuilding in the level of catastrophe that the Hanshin earthquake gave was at least a 10-year recovery period, at least a 10-year recovery period. So any city that is hit by a disaster of that magnitude has to prepare for a 10-year reconstruction period. Geography still matters, and a geographer's eye is as important as other social scientists when looking at a major disaster event like this. So there's a discipline of disaster management and professionals who are trained in that way. And economists have been involved in just looking at the economic reconstruction of a big port city. But geographers do examine the spatial ramifications. And they can help, I think, local decision makers give a sense of priority for reconstruction and analyze where more effort needs to be placed.